Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about movies. I don't do this a lot because I don't actually consider myself a movie person or like a film buff or whatever. I don't watch new movies. I have like the same 10 on repeat, basically. I can't do the super artsy films all the time. I love talking during movies. I love doing other things while I watch a movie. I love pausing them. I love watching one single movie across like 3 days. I am probably the worst person for anyone who like really enjoys movies in Letterboxd and stuff like that to watch movies with. I don't fit like the traditional movie enjoyer stereotype, and I'm fine with that. I actually don't care. I would so much rather watch things that bring me joy and that make me happy and that I like watching instead of like forcing myself through something Art Nouveau. I don't want to watch things that I don't enjoy just to impress some film nerds. I'm not a movie person. I'm not. I wish I was. I think movie people are really cool. Same as people who read like 15 books every month. Wish that was me. Can't do it. Tried to do it multiple times. It made me miserable. It felt like a chore. Did I even introduce what I'm going to be talking about today? I'm not sure. Today, I'm going to be telling you all about my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to try to do it as spoiler-free as possible. These movies all shaped me as a person. I've seen each of these more than once. Some of these I've seen in like the triple digits, perhaps. I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not. I'm just gonna be showing you my favorite movies. One thing I will say before we get started, there aren't any David Lynch movies on this list. As much as I love a good Lynchian moment and like the weird little worlds he created, I just don't always have the patience for a Lynch film. I always have time for Twin Peaks. That's a different story, but that's a series. That's not a film, you know what I mean? I like Blue Velvet. I like Wild at Heart. I like Eraserhead, but they're not something that I would just throw on in the background. Love you, David Lynch. Rest in peace. These are all movies that I would throw on in the background and also watch attentively and not do anything during. If you enjoy these types of videos, please do let me know by leaving me a like and maybe consider subscribing if you would like to help me out and never miss another video. And without any further ado, let's get into my favorite movies of all time. These are in no particular order, so I think I will just do one of these and then pull one, and then we're going to talk about each one. Why do you have all of these on DVD? Because I love a good trophy DVD. I do have all of these digitized so I can watch them more easily. I have some of these on my iPod as well because duh. Anyway, let's pull one. Okay, well, of course I had to go for the weirdly packaged one. The first movie we're going to be talking about is Party Monster. This, oh my god, I love this movie so much. It was like a Tumblr staple. This film lived on my dashboard rent-free on Tumblr. It is kitschy, it is queer, it is campy. I love it so much. The visuals are out of this world. I love the costume design. I love the funky colors. I love everything about this movie. Party Monster follows the rise and fall of Michael, who was a club kid in the, I think, 80s or 90s, 80s and 90s, perhaps, in New York City. He planned parties. He did a lot of drugs. He murdered someone. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. And maybe it's weird to say this is a comfort movie, but it's a comfort movie. Next one. Which one should I pick? Keeping it strong. The next movie is Jennifer's Body. I think I've talked about this a billion times on my channel before. This is probably like at the very, very top of my list of all-time favorite films. Anyone who knows me has heard me talk about this at least 3 times, no matter how long they've known me for. I just love this film so much. It's about Jennifer, who is a teenage girl, and she gets possessed by a demon and starts eating boys. It's kind of the gist of it. It's a little bit gory. Oh, it is so good. It's almost like a parody of a coming of age movie. It's a lot like another film I have in my pile. The sapphicness of it all, is there a different word? Lesbianism, not really. It's just so good. It's a little bit gay baity, to be honest, but it's so good. The soundtrack is so good. The movie itself is so good. It's like a cheesy, kitschy teen movie with a murderous demon. And I love it so much. If you haven't watched Jennifer's Body, I highly recommend watching it. And if you don't want to watch this for any reason, at least do yourself a favor and check out the soundtrack. I'm going to link it in the description box. It is so good. I love Jennifer's Body. Who's next? Should I do one of the Blu-rays? This one. This next movie is Suicide Room. If you were on Tumblr circa 2014, probably even later, it's probably still making its rounds on Tumblr because it is such a Tumblr movie and it has had that website in its grips for years and years. Where do I even start with Suicide Room? This is a Polish film about a boy named Dominik who is struggling with his sexuality, and then he makes a friend online, and then he becomes more and more withdrawn and like never leaves his room. I wouldn't advise anyone who's easily triggered by themes of self-harm or mental illness or agoraphobia, even to an extent, to watch this. I did it anyway. I actually haven't watched Suicide Room in a couple of years because I fear my like fully developed adult brain wouldn't like it as much as my depressed, Tumblr addicted teenage brain liked it, and I want to keep its memory. Is that weird? I don't know. There was a summer when I watched only this film just on loop for weeks on end. I was probably like 14 or 15, which is not, I can't believe I made it out alive of that summer, to be completely honest. I still love this movie and it means so much to me. I have also recommended this to people because it is a good film, in my opinion. I don't think I will ever watch it again. Yeah, I love Suicide Room. It was my entire personality for way too long. Yay! Okay, up next is Ginger Snaps. I only have this like 3-in-1 Blu-ray of the entire trilogy, but what I actually want to talk about is the third one of these films, which is actually the prequel, and it's called Ginger Snaps Back: The Beginning. How do I explain this without it being spoilery? So the whole trilogy is about 2 sisters, Ginger and Bridget, and there's like a curse that follows them through lifetimes, and the prequel tells kind of the origin story of the curse. I did also talk about Ginger Snaps in my favorite horror movie video, and I only touched on like the original Ginger Snaps, I believe, but I did do like a heavy rewatch of all of them a couple months ago, and then I kept rewatching the prequel. The first 2 are very similar in vibe to Jennifer's Body, where it's like kind of coming of age mixed with horror and like the analogy of teen girls going through puberty, turning into monsters and stuff like that. And the third one kind of takes it a step back and you're transported into like 19th century, I believe, Canada, where you follow these 2 sisters and they kind of join a traders colony, something like that. I don't know the exact words because I'm not very smart. And the like village or whatever is being haunted by werewolves, and it shows the origin of the curse of Ginger Snaps, and it's just so good. It is so good. I love a werewolf. Moving on. Who's next? Let me explain. So this movie is called Falco, Verdammt, Leben, Noch, and it's about Austrian pop singer Falco, who was really, really big in the 80s. And it just kind of follows his life from like being a kid to his rise and fall and then his death, which is still like questioned whether it was an accident or a suicide. Is it the best film ever? No. Do I still love it? Obviously. I don't like good films or what other people would consider good films a lot of the time. And I have been obsessed with this movie ever since it came out in like 2008. I grew up with Falco's music. My dad really loved him. And I also was in a play about his life in school, which is still somewhat strange if you take into account the amount of drugs this man did and the fact that I was in Catholic school when I did the play, but that's besides the point. I love this movie ever since it came out. I'm not sure if this is available in English. It might be available with like English subtitles somewhere, but it is like a very, very good watch, I think. Maybe I shouldn't have been exposed to it when I was 9. It's good if you can find it online with whatever subtitles you need, or maybe even speak German, or at least listen to his music, because I love a Falco moment. Okay, so there's only 3 films actually left. I know there's 4, but these 2 are kind of one and the same. I don't know why I have both of them in this pile, but I only realized after, and it felt weird removing one. Actually, let's tackle those 2. It's Twilight. I really, really love Twilight. When I was the intended target audience, when I was like, I don't know, 10 to 14, I didn't care for it. I got into Twilight way, way later when I was in my 20s, actually. I love the entire Twilight saga, which is why I pulled this up first, because it is, again, like a multi-disc thingy. But my actual favorite of all time Twilight movie is the first one. If you've never heard of Twilight, it's about I think she's 16. It's about a teenage girl who moves to a new town and she falls in love with a vampire, and that's kind of the gist of it. There's also a werewolf boy. I would not call it like a love triangle, because that's not what a love triangle is. That's like 2 guys who are in love with her. One of them is a vampire, the other one is a werewolf. Girl falls in love with vampire. You know, Tyler's all this time. Ow. I just bit my tongue so bad. Vampirizing myself. The reason the original Twilight is my favorite of all time, you can tell it was directed by a woman. And you can also tell the rest of the films were directed by men, because they're a lot more action-based, if that makes sense. This one is a lot more like teen girl coming of age of it all, which I really, really appreciate. I love a teen girl movie. It's so good. Also, the Twilight soundtracks are amazing as well. Watching the films just like as background noise makes me so productive for no reason. It's my favorite to put on when I'm making chainmail. I just love Twilight. I love Twilight. Okay, there's 2 films left. Should I go with the obvious one that everyone probably knows, or the other one? Let's do the top one. Okay, the next film I'm going to be talking about is so very near and dear to my heart, perhaps unexpected. I don't know. I don't care. It's Brother Bear. This is probably the only Disney movie I ever actually liked. I watched this in cinema when it came out when I was like 4, maybe 5. I have no idea when this came out. All I remember is I was very, very small. And I was captivated and I was obsessed with the soundtrack. I would play it over and over and over again on my little blue CD player and sing along. It's such a good film. I love Brother Bear so, so, so much. Brother Bear is about Kenai, who really, really hates bears, but then he gets turned into a bear and he has to learn a bunch of life lessons through being a bear. And it is actually set in North America, which I didn't know for the longest time because I saw it in German because German is my native language. The elk in the German version are actually Swedish instead of Canadian because it just makes more sense. And I thought it was set in like Siberia, which made a lot of sense in my head because there's bears there too. I'm doing a really horrible job at describing this. It is an absolute masterpiece. Go watch Brother Bear. It is so good. Do yourself a favor. It's so nice. It's so good. It also has music by Phil Collins. So last but not least, drum roll please. Would you have guessed? Probably, perhaps. If you've been around for any amount of time, same as with Jennifer's Body, you've heard me talk about Sweeney Todd. It's about a barber who gets exiled because the judge wants his wife, and then he comes back like 15 years later looking for revenge, and it is a little bit gory and bloody, and it is also a musical. I love it so much. It's so good. I have different versions of this on DVD as well. I used to be completely obsessed with Tim Burton films. I obviously in turn was obsessed with Helena Bonham Carter. I unfortunately was obsessed with Johnny Depp. Him though. This was my introduction to being emo. Maybe I wouldn't have turned out this way if I hadn't seen this when I was like 11, probably younger. I love Sweeney Todd. Again, musical, kind of cheesy, perhaps not everyone's cup of tea. This is one of the films where I probably know the entire script just by heart, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love Sweeney Todd forever. And those were my favourite films of all time. Did you guess any of them? Probably, because I talk about the same stuff in every video. It's fine. We're fine. This is why you're here. This video is going to get like 50 views and mine is 3 subscribers. That's fine. It's fine. Let me know what your favourite movie is in the comments. And also please do let me know if we maybe have any of the same favourite movies. I would love to hear from you. A very special thank you to my channel members. If you would also like to become a rat baby, have your name displayed here and reap all of these beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful rewards, you can join up here. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to me yap. I can't wait to hear from you about your favourite movies, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!